Why Bangkok?
I don't know.
You were born in Malaysia, but how long have you lived here?
Since I was 2.
So pretty much all your life. You get that far.
My name is Nabila. I'm 11. I've been here for about almost 2 years, and I was born in Malaysia.
So you're 15, did you say?
No, I'm 11.
11, beg pardon. 11, so you lived in Malaysia for much of your life, but the last 2 years you've been here, is that right?
Yeah.
So collectively, I'm getting the impression that the majority of you here are pretty much Masaleh, if I can use that term, is that right? Is that right? So you're pretty much born here. You know no life other than living in the UK, is that correct? Brilliant, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because I want to really get to know how you are experiencing life as a fellow Malaysian living in a foreign land. I use that term very loosely because actually for you guys, living here is not foreign, this is home, right? This is home. But to many other people who are Malaysians themselves, they regard this as foreign land because they were born in Malaysia and people lived here for a few years. But collectively, you guys, this is home, okay? I'd really like to get to know what has been the challenges for you guys living in the UK, okay? And now, I just want to show you a little clip. Most of you seen this clip already, just to give you some flavour of the sort of things that makes teenage life an important, exciting time. Okay? And what are the challenges that you guys may be facing, and you can relate to this. Okay? So I'm just going to show you a little clip. Most of you seen this already. Okay, right. Most of you in this room have already seen this clip, right? And we've actually gone around the table the last time we did this talk, and you guys expressed some of the challenges that you have. And if you look very carefully, these challenges are pretty much non-specific. They would involve some of you, if not all of you, but not specific to necessarily Muslim teenagers. Does that make sense? Or even Muslim teenagers. Can you relate to any of this at all? There's a chance to speak up. Can you relate to any of the issues that was highlighted in that clip? So just to go through it, but just to check whether or not you were listening. What were the challenges? What were the challenges highlighted?
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure, good. Mood changes, excellent. Anything else?
Bullying or being bullied. Bullying or being bullied.
Okay, yeah. Part of peer pressure, yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, you guys can relate. Anything else? Anything else that you can relate to that you saw on that little clip?
Making friends.
Making friends, yeah. Peer pressure, making friends. Anything else? Very relevant to you guys actually, because most of you have been born here, and many of your parents have not been born here. So what's that? So not just the age gap, but also
Difference in culture.
cultural gap. I'm not talking between friends, I'm talking within your own family setup. And that can actually be quite difficult to manage. Not just for yourself, but also for the fellow parents themselves. Does that make sense? So if you look at these problems, they can affect many teenagers. Okay? And they don't necessarily have to be coming from a Malaysian home or a Muslim home. But we have another layer, don't we? We actually have another layer. And that is this. I know you can't see very well here. This is another layer. So being a teenager, set challenges. But being a Muslim teenager, leave you set another set of challenges. Am I making sense? So what is the difference, if you like, being a teenager and being a Muslim teenager? Now you guys would have experienced this in your own school. Can anybody mention any of the challenges that you may have being a Muslim teenager that's different to some of the key issues that we talked about? Praying, good, yeah. We're different, we have to, right? Praying, yeah, good. What are the challenges specifically about praying?
It's hard to find a place to pray.
So finding the right place to go and pray, okay.
Fasting when you're in school.
Fasting in school, why is that a problem?
Because everyone else is eating as well, especially in my school, so a lot of Muslims.
Okay. Okay, right. Anything else? Somebody mentioned the last time there's issue about bad image of fellow Muslims. What's happening in the press at the moment? What's happening in the real world? In inverted commas. What's that? What are the challenges specifically relating to the current issues?
It's Islamophobia.
Islamophobia, what does that mean?
Discriminating against the religion just because of the group of people who claim to be Muslims.
That's right. Have you experienced Islamophobia in your?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of what happened?
Please.
Please feel free to share. If you don't want to share, it's absolutely fine. But
They found out I was Muslim, so they started asking stuff like, "Oh yeah, do you bomb this place? Do you bomb that place?" Like, no. So yeah,
so your response was no.
just no. And then I was like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not
That's what
Muslim.
it is. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else had similar issues at school or outside school?
And in my old school, someone said to me, I'm terrorist, come back here or something.
Terrorists come back here.
Yeah, something.
And how did you respond to that?
We just walked off and told the teacher.
And what was the immediate reaction?
Pardon?
What was the immediate reaction from your teacher and your fellow friends?
They got they got shocked.
Anybody else? Anybody want to express? The challenges of being a Muslim teenager at the school. So there's a common theme out there. There's Islamophobia relating to the current issues. There are issues relating to the practice of our faith, such as praying, such as fasting, and such as relating all those important issues of what it is being a Muslim, yes? What about issues relating to going out? Do you have problems with that? Your friend says, let's go out, let's go party. I'm sure you must have come across that. Anybody had problems with that? Come on, after school we're just going to spend some chill time now. Let's do that.
So like staying out later than you should, especially like Nik Shah.
Yeah. Why is that an issue?
Because it's like, well, my mom, where was she? I don't know. Yeah, she's always like, well, I know anyway to come in, but it's like they are usually around afterwards, so it's kind of like, yeah.
Anybody else? So issues about going out with your mates after dark. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. Anything else?
You have to make sure that, like parents will like make sure you Isha, wherever you are. Because if you're out, it's kind of harder to find a place to pray. Because they don't, because it's easier if you stay home and Isha. That's kind of the reason why.
Let me ask you this. How many of you think it's okay to go out after dark? How many of you think it's not okay to go out after dark? Why?
Because I heard some issues around here. It seems that some people are murdering and stuff.
Okay, so safety issues. What if I had to tell you that you want to go to the mosque to pray your Fard prayer, or to do your Tarawih? Does that mean you can't because it's dark? It's a very general question. My question is, can you go out after dark? Do you feel it's wrong? Or do you feel it's right? So what if you want to go to the mosque after dark? Is that right or wrong? Is it okay or not? What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Being out at night is not necessarily wrong, okay? But it depends on what you do. That's good. That you're actually out in the night, as it were. Okay. And quite often people go out for other reasons than going to the mosque or going to what we call seeking Islamic knowledge, which may have issues. And I'm going to cover some of these crucial issues. And I think you guys are a little bit shy at the moment. Perhaps you don't know your way around, and lots of people around. I'm going to cover some of these issues. Okay? Anybody else want to share anything else relating to the challenges of fellow Muslim teenagers in this country? What about drugs? We're looking at the older teenagers. Has anybody experienced, not necessarily personally, but other members of the family or other members of friends who have problems with drugs? You're shaking your head.
There's a whole big case of at the moment in this world about the legalization of marijuana, and it's becoming a big thing now, and it's quite common actually in this area. A lot of people, it doesn't really matter about what race or religion they're from, a lot of people actually do it, so it's becoming an influential thing in such a sense.
So what are your views about that? Do you think it's good to legalise marijuana?
Well, I actually had conflicting views on it, but that's why in coming earlier I was actually asking quite a lot of questions about it.
Okay, let me ask you a simple question. Is it okay to smoke?
No.
That's almost a dead-end question. It's almost a yes and no question. Why is it not okay to smoke?
Because it's like anything that's harming you anyway,
Okay.
it's like not allowed. So if smoking harms you, so therefore it's not allowed.
So what about marijuana?
The thing is, for me personally, I need to know like the full spectrum of it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I understand that you can use it for medical use, and that's perfectly alright. I think for kind of recreational use, it's not really.
And the problem that many of the teenagers are facing is that these drugs are available, yes, they're easily accessible, okay, and they're not using necessarily for medicinal purposes. They're actually saying, well, that's something new, it's cool, I'm going to try it. It's wow, people are saying you can get cool about this, but there are important effects of marijuana that perhaps it's less discussed, okay. The so-called intermediate to long-term effects of marijuana is that they can be associated with psychological illness, depression, the so-called post-high situations. Okay? So it's arguably more dangerous than smoking. So if you say to me smoking is not okay, it's almost contradictory in thoughts to say marijuana is okay.
Yeah, I wasn't saying marijuana is okay. I mean, like, it depends on what you use. So, like, you can use it for medical, like, there has been, like, stuff in that. But I mean, like,
but the reason for why many teenagers are faced with it is not because they want to use it as something to cure an illness, if you like. They use it because it's available, it's cool to use it because other people are using it. What's that called? Peer pressure. Okay. Right, so I just want you to, I'll go through some of these issues in some detail. But as we go through some of these issues, I want you to reflect on three very important things. Okay, the first is, in your life at the moment, right, what is that you value most? What is the most valuable thing right now, this day? Okay? That's the first thing I want you to reflect on. Okay, I don't need an answer straight away. The second thing I want to do is, what would you like to be come 10 years down the line? 20 years down the line. What is your future aspirations? Okay? That's the second question. The third thing I want you to reflect on is, where do you want to be after death? And that's a very serious question. That's a very serious question. Is death certainty? Is death certainty?
Yeah.
Anybody disagree? Are we all going to die?
Yeah.
No question. Okay, it's a matter of time, right? And you kind of hope that Allah's given us time to be able to achieve some of these first two goals. Yes? Or to appreciate some of these first two issues, what we value most now and what we want to be doing in the future. But this, perhaps, is the most important question, because is death a certainty? Are we preparing for it? Are we preparing for death? Because nobody in this room disagrees that death doesn't exist. All of us are going to die. Okay? Are we prepared for it? Okay? Because it's the most important question, I'm going to go around the room and just check with you. If you know that tomorrow is your last day, if tomorrow you've been given the knowledge that this is it, I cannot live beyond tomorrow, where do you want to be? Is she okay?
I think she needs the inhaler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where will be your soul aim? Where do you want to be after death? Jannah, okay.
Same Jannah.
After death. Yeah. Anybody disagree? Does anybody want to be somewhere else? Is there anything else outside the remit of Jannah?
Yes.
Okay, that's the opposite of Jannah, right? So we've all been taught the concept of afterlife, haven't we? As fellow Muslims, it's one of the articles of faith that there is life after death. And our main, if not the sole aim of our life, is to achieve, what's that? Jannah. Okay. Why do you want to go to Jannah? What's so special about it?
Eternal freedom.
Eternal freedom, okay. What's so special about it? Why do you want to go to Jannah? Not because our parents say it's a good place to go. Why? What do you understand about the concept of Jannah?
You with Allah. It's total peace.
Total peace, everlasting bliss. Anything else?
Not in hell.
You're not in hell. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Excellent. Anything else?
perfection.
It's perfection. Absolutely right. Anything else? You might be very quiet.
You can have anything you want.
You can have anything you want. All your nafs will get fulfilled. Doesn't get fulfilled now, definitely get fulfilled then. Anything else? What is it you want now? Let's go back to this first question. What is it you want now? What is it you want now? If you can have anything now, what is it you want? Anything.
A good relationship with your family.
Can you get that here? I like that. That's always a good reflection. Anything else? What is it you want now?
Well, eternal happiness.
You're definitely going to get it there, right? Eternal happiness. That's a contradicting thought, because we've just said that this life is temporary. So we're definitely not going to get eternal happiness here, are we? Are we? It's unlikely, because it's all short term. Yes? Anything else? What is it you want now? Come on. Nintendo game. PS2. Showing my age now. Atari. What is it you want now? Looking at you. Anybody? Anybody else different? Anybody else has different ideas of what they want now?
Just the answers to all my questions.
Can you get it there?
I think so.
Definitely. Right. So if we were to look at this slide at a glance, there are two issues here. One is that we know this life is temporary. We know there is a life that comes after this life that's going to be permanent, and we hope that it's going to be heaven, because that's going to be everlasting happiness. Yes? Correct? Right. I want you to think about that for a second. This is a deep question, and many of you would have reflected on this already. But I want to play this little clip just to give you some idea, just to hold in some of the ideas and what it means to live a life as a fellow Muslim in this temporary world. Okay?
Nik, ada Kak Ines ke dekat smart?
What are we doing here? And where are we gonna go? It's like we just woke up one morning,
Can you all hear?
and then it's welcome to the show. Don't ask any questions, just go with the flow. Make as much money as you can, and try your best not to get broke. Copy everything you see on the TV, from the hairstyles to the clothes, and don't think too often, just do exactly as you're told. And if you ever get confused, then just turn towards the alcohol. You still hear thoughts, then just turn up the radio as you learn to live a lifestyle of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. But in all honesty, I just need to know, is there more to the cycle than growing and getting old? Living and dying just to leave behind a happy home and a whole lot of property that somebody else is going to own. I just really need to know before the casket's closed, 'cause I'm not willing to gamble with my soul, nor am I ready to take any chances. These are just simple life questions, and I'm just searching for some answers. Like, what are we doing here? And what is our purpose? How did we get here, and who made us so perfect? And what happens once we go, or is this world all really worth it? Questions we don't answer because apparently we don't really have to. There's no purpose to this life, and our existence is merely natural. Then in that case, please let me ask you, did you create yourself, or was it somebody else who had fashioned you? 'Cause you're a being that's impeccable, faultless and unparalleled. You're a product of supreme intelligence, and I'm merely being rational. For there isn't a camera on this earth that can come close to the human eye, nor a computer that can compete alongside the human mind. And if the whole world was to come together, we wouldn't be able to create a single fly. So many signs, yet we still deny. The science tries to justify that all this can come from none. When it's a simple sum, 0 plus 0 plus 0 cannot possibly ever give you 1. So from where did all this order come? But everything has its origins, a maker, a creator of its own. I mean, the only reason you're watching this video is because somebody had to press upload. So we can believe in the Big Bang, but I'd rather believe in He who caused it to explode. Allah, the creator of everything along with every single soul. The ever-living, the master, the only one who is in control. Unlike his creation, beyond our imagination. And no, he's not a man, nor does he have any partners in association. He's on his own. And no, he did not ever leave us alone. Just like every manufacturer, he left us with an instruction manual. The Quran and Islam, and I'm sorry to jump to conclusions, but it's the only one possible. The only definition of God is the one and only supreme being. It's logical. A book with 0 contradictions, with miracles that are both scientific and historical, all revealed over 1400 years ago. Like the detailed description of the human embryo.
Descriptions of the human embryo in the Quran cannot be based on scientific knowledge in the 7th century.
To the mountains as pegs holding firm the earth below. And the 2 seas that don't mix in a complete separate flow. To the planets in orbit, alternating night and day as they stay in flow. The expansion of the universe and the creation of everything from H2O. To the stories of the past and the preservation of Pharaoh. To identifying the lowest point in the land where Persia defeated Rome. The gushing fluid that created man in the glands between the ribs and the backbone. And not a word has changed, it's still the same. So please explain how all this was known over 1400 years ago. To a man who couldn't read or write as he would recite whatever the angels spoke. And if you still don't believe, please try to come up with something that's even close. But you can't, so we took God as a mockery and his messengers as a joke.
Muhammad could not read or write. How somebody who can't read or write will start a religion?
Dismiss the scriptures as legends and tales of the ancient folk as we live life according to our whims, desires, and hopes. Saying this life is the only home we will ever know. We will live then die, then simply turn to bones. YOLO! Correction, after the grass dies, the rain arrives and it regrows. And Allah promises to do the same thing to your very soul. And bring you back from your very fingertips to your toes. As the all-seeing supreme being watches us so close. And we are surely being tested. In our wealth, our health, and our self, and everything that we've been blessed with. So believe, for we will surely be resurrected. And be brought back to our Lord and account for every single deed. As he hands us our books and orders us to read. From the bad to the good and everything in between. You yourself are sufficient for your own accountability. So don't be mad at me. You were the one who thought he wouldn't come back to me. I gave you a whole life long to search after me. But you were busy in all that which was temporary. So read. And glad tidings to all those who believed. And if you disbelieve, read. And don't let that day be the first day you find out what your life really means. Read.
Wow, powerful message, huh? So you've seen this already. Let me ask you the same question again. What do you hold dear to you right now? What's the most precious thing that you want to have? Any thoughts? What's the most precious things that you have, or thing that you have right now? Quran. Good answer. Let's go back to that last question that we asked. Where are we heading? What is certain? Death. We're all going to die. Yes? Whether it's tomorrow, or whether it's going to be 50 years down the line, whether it's going to be 100 years down the line. Yes? So what is that you hold precious now, knowing that death is certainty?
Life.
Okay. Life, Quran, anybody else? Shaking head. Anybody else? What is it we have now that we're not going to have the same thing again tomorrow? What is it we have now before we die? Time. Think about it, guys. We have time. This is our currency. The currency that we have right now that we should hold dear is the fact that we have time. Our time is not up yet. Think about it. We're given time. The currency that Allah has given us is time. Yes? Which comes to my next question. What do you want to do with that time before time's up? What are your aspirations? Now this is pertinent because your life as a teenager will shape what your life as a young adult is going to be. Your life as a teenager is going to shape what your adult life is going to be. Your interaction as a teenager is going to shape how you're going to behave in the future as a young adult and as an adult out in the real world. Yes? So you have time. And I hope you appreciate that we're all given the currency of time before the certainty of death. Yes? So let me ask this question. What is your aspiration? We're given time. We know we're going to die. What is your aspirations? You must have some goals in life, surely. What do you want to be? What do you want to do with your time? If an adult asks you a question, come on bro, what are you going to be in 5 years' time? You're going to say, I'm going to be a doctor. Why? I'm going to be an engineer. Why? Okay, that's the first thing that comes to mind, right? What are you going to be? What is your aspiration? And people think what? People think what? People think it's often the career aspiration. Okay, I'm not asking that. You could say that if you like, but I'm not asking that. What I'm asking is, you have time before death around. How would you choose to spend that time? Deep question. Anybody else? Preparing for death. Wow, that's a very strong answer, isn't it? Preparing for death. Somebody says that if you're not busy living, then you're busy living, you're busy dying. Have you heard of that?
No.
Have you heard of that term before? Yeah? Actually, we should be busy preparing for death, because no matter how you cut it, we're all going to die. And we know that our life aspiration after death is Jannah, right? Is Jannah cheap? Is it easy to achieve? Okay, how many of you have been through exams? Put your hands up. Was it easy? Okay. No, okay. Was it easy? Before you sit for the exams, what's going through your mind? Is it going to be an exam? I'm just going to fly through this, I'm going to get straight A's, my mum and dad's going to be so pleased with me. No, you're not. Exams is a means of checking whether or not you've achieved what you've set out to do. Yes? Is our life an exam? Coming back to that question that we're asking earlier on. Is our life a test?
Yeah.
Is your wealth a test? If you have lots of money, is that a test?
Yeah.
Is your health a test? Is your family a test?
Yeah.
These are important facets of our lives that some people take for granted. Time, including time, we take for granted that we're going to be here for the rest of our lives. But these are the things that's actually limited. And the things that you see in front of you, if you have wealth, if you have lots of friends, if you have influence, these are tests. What's a test for? What are these tests for? What's marijuana a test for? What drugs a test for? What's the ability to get to drugs a test for? So that you attain piety, so that you can achieve your end goal. If you think about the exams that you want to get straight A's, how hard do you work for it? You work bloody hard, don't you? You sit all day and night to get the exams because you want to get to the best university, because you want to be a certain specialty, blah blah blah. Okay, but think about it. This, I don't know, 50 years, 60 years coming. It's all a test before we reach that certainty, and that test is to get to where we need to go. So is Jannah easy? It's not. Think about the test that you're experiencing now. The exams that you've experienced in school is hard. Think about the test of life, because the end goal is the afterlife, isn't it? Yes? I just want to go through this concept of Jannah. I think it's relevant because I really touch in great detail the challenges that you are all facing. But I want you to think about these challenges in relation to what your end goal is. Does that make sense? I find it easier that if I have a problem, I want to see where I want to go. Does that make sense? If I have a math problem, I want to know that I'm going to achieve this. For solving this math problem, I'm going to have this reward. I find it easier. I want to be, I don't know, I want to be a doctor, okay? So anything that comes in my way, in terms of exams, in terms of going to university, in terms of all the challenges, my end goal is I'm going to be a doctor. So whatever comes my way, I'm going to work hard to get to where I want to be. Does that make sense? Okay? So let's talk a little bit more about the reward, shall we? Okay? I just want to give you a description of Jannah. Okay? Can you, I gave this description before. Okay? Think about it, right? This is garden of eternal bliss. If you're one of the lucky ones to be accepted in Jannah, just imagine you're going through these beautiful gates of Jannah, received by angels, and has given you the best clothes, the best perfume, okay? As you enter the gardens of Jannah, okay? And you walk towards the gate, and you enter the gate, and your hearts will be full of longing for where your home is. A bit like when you go away on a holiday, and you come back, I want to get home, right? So Allah has put this feeling into you when you pass through the gates of Jannah. You have this longing that I want to get back to my house. Okay? This house is the investment that you're putting right now on this earth. Does that make sense? The size of your house, the state of your house, how good that house is going to be, is dependent on the fruits of the labour that you put in right now. Okay? As you get into the gates of Jannah, you long for this house and you walk purposely towards your home. From a distance you see this beautiful home made of gold bricks, made of silver bricks, made of glass where the second floor is somewhat floating over the first and the third. The house is so vast that in real term, in today's term, it's so big that it extends from Manchester to Liverpool. Think about it. It's so big, so vast, your house in Jannah. Think about it. Amazing. As you approach this beautiful house, then you see the most beautiful thing in the world. Okay? And that's your spouse. Your spouse is the most beautiful thing that you've never seen. I hasten to use the word world because you've never seen this beautiful person. Your spouse is waiting for you at doors of your home. Okay? It is said that the beauty of your spouse, if it were to be revealed today, right? Nobody wants to do bad deeds because of the longing of being able to go to a beautiful house, to a beautiful wife or husband. Coming on to that. I just want to give you a taste of what's waiting for you. Why is that you want to go to heaven so much? Okay? And then I just want to also introduce the concept of this, the escalator. Why is it important to understand that concept? Allah has promised that those who not only reflect on the book, i.e. the Quran, but also memorize, hafiz, okay? Not only they have all this reward of Jannah, but there are different levels of Jannah. It's akin to being on an escalator. The more you memorize his book, the more you're able to recite his book, you're going up an escalator. The higher you go up, the more beautiful that part of Jannah. The higher you go up, the more of his book that you memorize, reflect on and acted on, and your good deeds, you will continue going up this escalator. So the angels will stop at each station and ask you, what else do you know about this book? And you start to recite. Go up you go. Next level, the angel will come again and ask you, what more of this book that you know? You recite more. And you can keep continue going up to this beautiful Jannah. Not only the lower level of Jannah is beautiful, the higher Jannah is even more beautiful. Think about it. Wow. We can only dream about this now. Nobody has seen it. But if you think about the most beautiful place that you've been, the Lake District, the Peak District, think about the greenery, think about the lush beauty of the flora and the fauna. And Jannah is much more than that. Are you convinced that this is the place you want to go? Yeah? Great stuff. Great stuff. So, this is the first few ayah that reflects on the time of Qiyamah, and it also reflects on what happens to us after death and the day of Qiyamah. I particularly relate to this surah, Surah Al-Waqi'ah, which is number 56 in the Quran, because it gives a very detailed description of what happens to us after we die and after the day of certainty arrives. Do you know what I mean by day of certainty? What's the day of certainty?
The day of death.
Day of death. What else? And 2 days of certainties. One is death. Okay. The other is Judgment Day. Okay. Have you seen or heard this surah before? Anybody has? Put their hands up. I'll be disappointed because you haven't, because I've read this. You have. I know you weren't there the last time round. What have you heard about it? Do you know this surah?
A while ago.
A while ago. Okay. It's one of the surah that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam commented on. Whenever he reads this, right, his hair would turn grey out of fear of the day of Yawm Qiyamah. Okay? But the beauty is that it goes on to describe how mankind will be separated into 3 different types. Yes? Waqi'ah vividly describe what happens to you on the day of Qiyamah. There are 3 groups altogether. What are these 3 groups? Right hand, good. Bil Yameen, yeah, good. Left hand, good. Shimal. Sabikuns. Have you heard of Sabikuns before? These are the forerunners. These are the prophets, the awliya, the pious people. Okay? They're divided into 3 main groups on the day of Qiyamah. The first is the Sabikuns. Okay, these are people with highest degree of Iman, the Nabi, the Prophet, the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the awliya, the shuhada. Yes? These are the forerunners. Okay, they're closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And then the right hand people, meaning they receive the book of deeds in the right hand. They will go through heaven without much in the way of hisab. You know what remember hisab? Judgment Day, right? Your deeds are calculated. If your good deeds are better than the bad deeds, then you go into. If your bad deeds are heavier than your good deeds, you receive your record in your left hand. Okay? Look at the description here. The Sabikuns, okay? He goes on to say, look at this, you will be going to gardens of delight, of eternal bliss.
What happens if your bad days and your good days are like balance?
Okay, let me come back to that in a bit, okay? I'm just going to go through this. No, good question, this is a very good question. So look at the description here. Can you all see the description of the Sabikuns, okay? You have gardens of pleasure, fowl of any kind that you want to eat, birds of any prey that you want to eat, goblets of wine that doesn't intoxicate, companions of significant beauty given to you. Okay? But look closely at the very bottom. What do they say about the Sabikun? These are the best reward. You want to be part of the Sabikun, and may Allah give us the ability to be part of the Sabikun. But what does he say at the bottom? It says, this group, many are from days of past, but very few from the current day. What does that mean? The group that's going to be in the Sabikun are the early Muslims. Yes? The early Muslims, the Sahabi, the Salafi. Yes? Those are the people, the few generations after Nabi. Okay? If you look at the Iman, it's wow, it's amazing. If you have 100 Salafi in this room at the moment, I dare say 100 of them will be the best Iman in the world. In terms of behavior, in terms of taqwa, in terms of deeds. But if you look at our current day situation, the 100 people here, okay, maybe 10, I'm picking a figure, that will be part of Sabikuns. And this is what this means. That the early people, many will enter the Sabikuns, the highest part of Jannah, closest to Allah, but few from this generation will go into this group. Don't despair, because you don't know whether you're going to be the Sabikuns or not. So we have to work hard to try and get to be part of this group. Any questions so far? I'll come back to that particular question in a minute. Right. Those who will receive records in the right hand, those are also the people who will enter Jannah or Jahannam. The people who receive records in the right hand, we say, were people with more good deeds than bad deeds. Yes? Are they going to go into Jannah or are they going to go into Jahannam? Look at the reward here. Look at the fruits, the type of water, plentiful, okay, not limited by season. Okay? So these are the rewards. You're sitting on high thrones, overlooking this vast beauty of heaven. You have a big, massive home. You've got beautiful partners with you. Yes? And what does it say about the number of people that's considered the Bil-Yamin? What do we say about Sabikuns? Lots of people from the past. Yes? A few from present day, in the future. Yes? What does it say about the Yamin? Many from the old generation, but also many from this generation. Does that make sense? Yeah? If Allah has not given us the opportunity to be part of Sabikun, at the very least we want Him to give us the Yamin. Yes? Right hand.
You know, I feel like when you're in heaven, you're in like one of the lower bars. Could you like work your way up again, or do you only have this world to do it?
Okay. I'm going to answer the first question, because then I'm going to answer that question. If your deeds will be of equal measure, okay, there are deeds that's continuous, or what we call deeds that's continuous that's not done by yourself. Okay? What do I mean by that? People who pray for you. Okay? The Shafi'ah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know what I mean by that? Those people who are sort of middle, okay, but still bear the kalima of Ashhadu la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Even of the small kalima, Rasulullah will be your intercession. Because you're part of his ummah, he will get you from this state of imbalance to get you into heaven. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Even if you are of the Bishmal, in other words, you have more bad deeds than your good deeds, you may have to spend some time in Jahannam before you're pulled out to get into Jannah. Again, through the intercession of our Nabi. That's why we all encourage, spare time, we make salawat for him. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Because these are the things that will help us relate to him on the day of judgment, that will help us come out from a difficult situation. Does that make sense? Let me ask you this. If you are the unfortunate ones that have gone into hell first, and then later go to heaven, what are your thoughts about that? How do you feel about that? If your bad deeds is such that it's more than your good deeds, but yet you still bear the kalima, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, in other words, you're a Muslim, but your bad deeds are more than your good deeds, your destination is hell, yes? You're going to spend some time in Jahannam, yes? But eventually, once you pay the price of your bad deeds, you will be taken out. Partly through the intercession of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, yes? To get into Jannah, yes? Is that favourable or not? Why?
Because you have to go to hell before you go to heaven.
Yes. I'm going to talk about hell very shortly, okay? It's a horrid place to be in. That's number one, okay? Even if you get taken out from Jahannam to get to Jannah, you bear a mark of the poor people of Jannah. Does that make sense? As soon as you enter, you have a mark on your forehead so that you have been into Jahannam. Whilst you're about to enjoy all the pleasures of Jannah, you are still the poor people of Jannah. Does that make sense? Remember, heaven has many levels.
Can you work your way up the levels once you're in?
Okay, let me show my next. Yeah. Now, again, it's the deeds that you've done in the past and the people that make dua for you. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you're a parent to a hafiz, do you know what I mean by hafiz? A child who memorized the Quran, okay, you are destined to go into heaven. You are destined to go into hell because of your bad deeds. Or even if you don't get to hell, you are destined to go to the lower part of heaven because your deeds aren't good enough. Guess what your son or your daughter will do to you if he's a hafiz or she's a hafiz? They'll get you up. Not only will they get you up, on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, you have a beautiful throne waiting for you with a silver lining, with a crown on your head, waiting for you simply because your son, your daughters has memorized the Quran. Think about it. Think about it. Your deeds may not be good enough, but you have done enough to get your son through the Quran, that such that she memorized the Quran. That person will be waiting for you with a crown, with a throne, ready to get to one of the finest Jannah. SubhanAllah. Does that make sense?
What if you're the child and your parents are not?
What is your child?
What if you're like the parents and it's the happiness?
It doesn't have the same impact. They will be the intercession for their parents. Does that make sense? Yeah. I just want to share with you something very important as well. I know I'm dwelling a little bit more on Jannah here. You asked a very pertinent question. Have you had friends or family members who died in the younger years, before the age of baligh, in other words, before they reached the time of puberty? Has anybody had death of a family members? Okay, you don't have to say it can be quite distressing. So, the trials of having the death of a child as a parent is one of the most devastating impacts. Whether it's stillbirth, whether it's spontaneous abortion, whether it's they live for a few years. More so if you actually held the child in your hands. You had a chance to get to know the child, and the child dies through the illness. Okay? Allah has destined that child to die. Okay? It is said that that child is waiting for you in the gates of Jannah. To answer that question. If you, the parents, are patient in this trial and tribulation, what did I say? Is children a test? Family a test? Money a test? Yes? If you have a child that dies in the early years of their life, that child is waiting for you in the gates of Jannah. Provided that you go through the calamity to go through the test and trial tribulation with calm and patience and acceptance of qada and qadar, meaning the predestined, what Allah has decreed. Because it's a test. And you pass the test, guess what? That child is waiting for you. Is waiting for the mother and the father in the gates of Jannah. Even though the mother and father may not have enough deeds to get into Jannah, he's waiting. She's waiting. So what does that say? You asked the question. What does that say?
It's if you go through it, when you go through the hard time after your child's death, and you'll see
Yeah. What else? If you have a child of your own, how can you guarantee the gates of Jannah? You want to teach them?
How to
You want to get them to? You want to get them to practice the Quran. Think about it. This is why I feel it's very important for people like us, people who live in different countries where Quran is not the forefront of things, that we should reflect on these, because the reward is massive. Even you yourself don't memorize Quran, but you get a child, whether you get the child to school to read the Quran, whether you get the child to go somewhere else to read the Quran, memorize the Quran, that's a ticket to Jannah. SubhanAllah. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm encouraging you guys to read the Quran, to learn the Quran, to reflect on the Quran, to memorize the Quran, because you may be my ticket to heaven. Does that make sense? So I have a vested interest in this. Your parents all have a much vested interest in this. Does that make sense? Right. I'm going to talk about hell very shortly. I've talked about some strong stuff here. Yes? I want to ask this question. Are you ready for this? Okay? Let's reflect on this a little bit.
This is Ravi, 24 years old, a university student, an aspiring athlete, a man who takes great care of his body, loves meeting with his friends, loves his morning jogs every morning, and of course, loves himself. Oh yeah, and Ravi's a Muslim. He prays. He prays on time. He prays for forgiveness and mercy. Because, let's face it, Ravi's not perfect.
It's been so long, I actually can't wait to see you. Yeah, inshallah.
Like many Muslims, Ravi makes mistakes.
No! Are you serious? I'm not hanging up. Please hang on.
He says and does things he really shouldn't. I'm going to miss Ravi. He just went too soon. It was unexpected. I mean, it didn't come with an announcement or anything. It feels like he just came and then left. But I guess that's life for you. It always has to come to an end. But is this really where it all ends? Does everything come to a complete stop once you die? I mean, is it all over? Today, we journey through into the final destination. They say you only live once. You know how that saying goes. Well, the reality is, that's not the case. Everything that we thought was over wasn't over at all. And everything that he had done was to determine absolutely everything to come. Ravi knows this. Ravi wants to go back.
What are you listening to? Turn it off!
Ravi wants to make a few changes.
Why are you listening to music? You know it's haram! Please turn it off! Please, Ya Allah!
He wants to clean up a few old habits as well. in his body.
You're killing yourself. Put the cigarette there. I'm just not worth it. No more put it there. That's it.
He also wishes that he had spent more time perfecting the actions that would actually benefit him in the future. He wished he had stayed longer in his prayers and in his supplications. And not just rushed off in a hurry to get them done all the time. And of course, Ravi wishes he had been stronger in fighting away his desires with the opposite sex.
Are you serious? I'm not hanging up. Please, just shut up!
Man, please, look.
Don't say that! Don't worry about my parents! Send me up! Boy! I'm being stupid! Don't get to you! Hello! Shut up!
Ravi really didn't want to end his life like this.
Please, shut up! I'm getting married. Don't say that!
He didn't want to end his life committing sins. And it wasn't until he died that he realized that he will be held accountable and have to face Allah. Every conversation he had, every cigarette he lit, every prayer he rushed, every moment he spent listening to music, it was all to be exposed. This wasn't the end of Ravi. This was just the beginning.
What's certainty in this life? Death. Okay. What do you value most about now, here and now? What is it you value most that you have right now? Time. What is your aspiration before the time comes? Think about it in example. What is your goal? Jannah. You want to be in Jannah, in the afterlife, right? So anything that you put in has to be an investment for Jannah, yes? Are you with me? Yeah? I'm going to keep coming back to this because I think it's important. When you're going through any challenges, as a teenager, as a young adult, think about this. You have time, you want to go to Jannah, and are you putting the right investment in this world to get to where you want to be? And that's the three things I want you to think about. Have you heard of the Surah At-Takathur? It's one of the Juz Amma. It's one of the last 30 Juz. Have you heard? Anybody heard of Surah At-Takathur? Anybody heard of Al-Hakum Takasur?
Yeah.
Can you recite it for me? Anybody can recite it for me? Anybody can recite it? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-Hakum Takasur Hatta Zurtum al-Maqabir Kalla sawfa ta'lamun Thumma kalla sawfa ta'lamun كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. What does it mean? What does it mean? Competition in this world increases virtue. What does that mean? That's the thing. There's a lot of translation in Quran makes it very difficult. So if you have tafsir, people who actually explain the Quran for you, people who like Numan Ali, for example, I find it fascinating because it explains it in normal English. What the first ayah means is that the worldly activities divert me from what is the most important thing. What is the most important thing? What is the most important thing? To get to? To be successful in the afterlife, yes? It states very clearly in this ayah that all the worldly pleasures and activities distract you from the goal of what you should be aiming for. This is what it's saying. But yet, when you reach graveyard, in other words, when you reach death, it suddenly becomes so clear. Allah repeats himself, you're going to know. No. You are definitely going to know. This is what this ayah is saying. Okay? When you reach death, you are going to know what's the most important thing. Have you been through life regret before? Anybody who's been through a major life regret before realise it's a major regret? Do you know what I mean by that? Anybody had either disappointment or regret in their life? Go on, obviously you're one of the older ones, you're going to have to experience life experience a bit more. So, do you want to share?
So it's like, I was last year, kind of, I was like, kind of a bit more diverted last year, so I really regretted that part, so. Like a whole, everything.
Think about death is when your senses is going to be at its highest. You think it's a body, right? Death is the time when your ruh, your soul, is going to feel the senses. You suddenly wake up feeling, oh my goodness, I know what this life means. I know what this means. Suddenly life makes sense. You know, there's so many confusion that's going on at the moment. Death is like that. You wake up from, the minute you die, you suddenly, oh my God, this is actually what's important. I'll be spending all that 20 hours a day playing computer games. That's not important. I've been spending the last 15 years doing haram stuff. You wake up suddenly after death, think, oh my God, that's not important. So death is like this massive realization that what matters is important. Can you come back after death? No. This is the whole point of the video. Allah, when He speaks in the Quran, He has this timeless wordings in the Quran, okay? He always refers to events that's going to happen in present tense. Does that make sense? He's referring to events that's going to happen in present tense. He refers to events that happens, say for example after death, such as you regretting your behaviour, you regretting the time you spent, how you spent your life. Exactly how that video was portrayed. That's the beauty of this book. It actually tells you, you have a book that gives you life instruction. It tells you what the consequences are. And it tells you what you should be doing. But yet, how many of us actually pay heed to this? Does that make sense? It's like, I'm giving you an exam today, and I'm giving you the questions and the answers at the same time. Does that make sense? And this is the Quran. It's giving you the question of life, and it's giving you the answers at the same time. Wow. How many exams have you been to that's not got the answers? This is a book that gives you the answers in all of them. So you've got to spend time, guys. You've got to spend time reflecting in this beautiful book. Yes? Right. I know I've reflected on dying a lot. Remember Judgment Day, okay? Before you enter the place of your final destination, inshallah will be Jannah. Don't forget, Judgment Day is the next most crucial, important time of your life. Death is one thing, but the Day of Judgment is the time where the souls of the human, if you like, are going to go through difficulty. Okay, whether you are the Anbiya, whether you are the pious people, that day you'll be woken up from your graves in this big white area, okay, where the sun is so close that it's literally just over your head. Is it going to be hot? It's going to be so hot. It's going to be so hot that even the people of the best deeds will still sweat. The sweat will be at the level of the ankle. Imagine those people who has lots of bad deeds. What will happen to the sweat? It will drown them. The face will be covered, hasten black. Okay? They have no eyes, no senses. As a reflection that the answer to the questions you're asking, the sight that you should be seeing, was all there all the time in the dunya, through the Quran, but yet you choose not to see it. So they are risen in the day of Judgment Day with no sight, no hearing, and no speech. Think about it. Okay? It's so horrendous that a young child woken up on the Day of Judgment, his hair will turn grey. That's how awful this day is going to be. Okay? Reflect on that for a second. Okay? Questions? Any questions so far? Right, I'm just, Jahannam, you asked a question. Na'uzubillah, we don't want to be this. We don't want to be here. Allahumma ajibna min an-nar. Allahumma ajibna min an-nar. Okay, why? It's so hot that just literally being near to it will melt you. The food that you have are not even food, they're actually waste products of other inhabitants of hell. Yes? Does that make sense? Waste products. The people who's been tortured, who's got waste on the hands, who's defecating, who's wet themselves, they are the food of the inhabitants of Jahannam. It is said in the Quran that this food is neither filling or nourishing. But you're so hungry, you eat them anyway. It doesn't make you full, it doesn't make you less thirsty, but you take them. Okay? As soon as you put the food near your face literally melts. That's how hot it is. Okay? And there are different levels. As there are different levels of heaven, there are also different levels of hell. Okay? Do you know what's the least punishment in hell? It's reserved for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's uncle, Abu Talib, who looked after him but refused to go into Islam. Have you heard of that riwayah or story? He who will be in the lightest part of the hell. Do you know what that is?
The bottom of his feet get burnt black.
Sorry. He's standing over fire, right? It's so hot that his head is bursting. Okay? And that is the easiest part of heaven. Think about it. Is that terrible to be in? But that's the least punishment. Imagine the people further down. Yes?
What's the worst punishment?
Well, it's unimaginable. Literally unimaginable. There are different punishments for different crimes. Okay? Think of the Fir'aun. Think of the other deniers of Allah. They will be tortured again. One of the biggest scientific evidence that we have in the Quran is the skin. Yes? We know now that the receptors, pain receptors, are actually in the skin. What did Allah say about the inhabitants of the hellfire? We will burn your skin such that it will roast dry, and we will replace that skin so that you will feel the punishment of hell. In the 7th century, nobody knew that there's pain receptors in the skin. But Allah has described it in the Quran just to give you an idea of what it's like to be in hell. Yes? When you're burnt in this world, you get rid of your skin, will you feel the pain? Once the skin's gone away, will you feel the pain? No, you won't feel the pain because the skin's been burnt. But in hell, the skin is going to be regrown so that you will feel hellfire continuously. Give yourself some idea. Put your finger on a lighter. Keep it lit. Is it going to be hot? Okay. Think about it before you start doing deeds that may not be halal. Think about that. Okay, much worse. Yes? Right. I know we're getting on a bit. Have anybody heard the story of Basisa? Nobody? Nobody? It's a beautiful story. This is Basisa's story. Okay? I'm coming on to some of the challenges of a teenager, but I want you to focus. Why are you doing the good things in life? Yes? Basisa is a Christian monk that lived during the Israelite time, in other words, pre-Islamic time. Okay? He's one of these early Christians who believe in the oneness of Allah. He also believed that Jesus Christ is a messenger of Allah. Yes? As opposed to the Jesus Christ being the Son of God. So what do we call that today? If you believe that Allah is one, you believe Jesus is a messenger of God, and you believe Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what do you call those people today? Muslims. These are us. Okay. So the early Christians, okay, where it hasn't been distorted yet, believe in the oneness of Allah and believe in Jesus Christ as a messenger of Allah. Okay? So he was so deeply pious and religious. He even had a church, if you like, of his own, where he prays continuously. Okay? It's a modern day sheikh. Do you understand the concept of sheikh? Somebody of a learned quality within the religion. Okay? His trials that day it was set onto him. 3 brothers came. 3 brothers who wanted to go and do a jihad. 3 brothers wants to go away to do jihad for Allah, for the sake of Allah. That's what jihad means, for the sake of Allah. The only problem is that they have a younger sister. They are concerned if they were to leave the sister will be in a lot of fitna, meaning challenges and trials and tribulation. So what better person to leave your sister with the most pious person of time? He fears Allah, he believes in Jesus Christ, he spent his day praying to Allah for mercy. So the brother said, why don't you help us? We want to go to jihad, we're going to leave our sister with you. What did Barsisa say? He said, oh, I'm not sure, this is a trial. He recognized being left with a female adult in a company of oneness, that might be an issue. Okay? So he walked away. Then a thought came in his mind. Barsisa had a soft heart. A thought came into mind that said, these guys are going away to do good. Okay? What better person to look after the sister than him? Not the people of the town. I'm the best of people in terms of devoutness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now I want you to put yourself in Barsisa's situation. What would you do? Would you take this girl into your home? Into your care? Would you take this so that the 3 brothers can do jihad? It's a yes and no question, because I'm going to try and ask everybody else. Would you take this girl? So what he said was, I'll take this girl, but instead of putting her with me, I'll put it in a house behind the church, so that I have very little contact with her. Would you do the same? Who would do anything differently? Hands up. Who would take this girl in, put it in a house behind the church, to prevent fitna, but also at the same time to help the 3 brothers who are about to do good deeds? Okay. Who wouldn't? Who would say, no, I'm not taking this girl, regardless what the circumstances were? Hands up. Think about it in your situation. You're being asked that question. Who wouldn't take this girl in? I'm looking at the boys. Okay, so we'll agree. We'll do what Barsisa does. So he kindly agreed to take the girl. The brothers goes out and do jihad. Another thought came into his mind. Well, I'm going to prepare food for this girl and leave it outside the church, that she can come out from her house to get the food every day, so that she's being catered for. Then another thought came to his mind over time. Why don't I take the food and bring it in front of her house so that she doesn't have to travel so far? It makes sense, right? Why would you leave a poor girl having to travel all the way from the front of a house to the church to get the food? Why don't we just bring the food over to the front of the door, so that she just opens the door? Anybody would do anything differently? Looking at the boys. Would you do anything differently? Would you take the food over to the house? You're a good Samaritan. You want to do good deeds? But he did. Okay? He did. And then as time goes on, he goes, wow, this girl's lonely. She's on her own. She's got no friends. Why don't I bring the food into the house so that she doesn't have to come out, and I will strike a conversation with her so she's not so lonely? So he does that. Okay? Takes the food. And over time, they struck a conversation. They built a relationship. And over time, voices are saying, well, it's okay, you're familiar with this person now. It leads to a touch. Over time, it leads to more than that. And over time, it leads to zina. Do you know what I mean by zina? Adultery? Yes? As a result of the adultery, as a result of the zina, the girl bears a child. An illegitimate child. And this voice came back in his head. Oh gosh, what if the 3 brothers come back tomorrow and see me, I've actually impregnated this poor girl. She's now got a child. He kills the child to hide the evidence. Bear in mind, this is a true story. I'm not making this up. Okay? He kills the child. He buries the child. Okay? He goes away after some time, still waiting for these brothers to come back. Now, the only other person that knows about this bad deed is who?
Okay.
The girl. Guess what? Kills the girl. Buries it somewhere. So what's happened so far?
There's been 2 murders. And zina. Which are pointless.
Zina, 2 murders. Yes? The brothers finally came home, 3 of them. What's happened to our sister? He goes, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allah has taken her away because she fell sick. I buried her in so-and-so place. A fake grave. Okay? That night the brothers slept, obviously in sadness, but in acceptance of Allah's decree, qada and qadar. But then they all had similar dreams, and their dreams were the sister did not die of sickness, rather she was killed with her own child in a grave that's not marked by this particular sheikh. So the next day the 3 brothers convened and said, I had a funny dream. The brother said, I had the same dream. The 3rd brother said, I had the same dream. And they couldn't let it go. So guess what? They went to the place, the graveyard where the sheikh said, this is where my sister died, and dug it up. Did they find anything? No. But in that dream it says where the body was being buried. Yes? The brother digs where the bodies were been left and found a sister and a child. So what's that so far, guys? Zina, double murder, and deception, lies. Yes? Was Basisa a man of Allah? Was Basisa a pious person? Did he fear Allah? Did he? It led to him. Zina. It led to 2 murders. These voices that he's hearing, these thoughts that he's hearing, what are these thoughts? These are whispering the shaitan. These are whispering. Kul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas. You heard that before? These are whisperings. Okay? So the brothers took this Basisa, a monk, to the ruler, and he's due to be crucified. At that point in time, the shaitan revealed himself in the form of man. He says, look, it was me. I was the one who was telling you all these things, and you did them. Okay, you look at you, you're in a mess. You're about to die. But guess what? Because I got you into this mess, I'm going to get you out of it. That's what shaitan says to Basisa. And Basisa says, please, in desperateness, please get me out of this. And the shaitan said, make me sujood. Make me sujood. Make me sajda. What does that mean? What does that mean? Not just praise him, literally go down on his knees and put his head down to say, help me, I will do whatever needs to be done. That time he was killed. He died in a state of kufr. He died in a state of disbelieving. He died in a state of a horrible death. And it is said that when the state in which you die is a state that you will be resurrected.
Did he do sajda?
Yes, he did. He died. As soon as he said that, he was crucified thereafter. So he died. Okay? So it is said that the way in which your death is the way how you're going to be resurrected. So how's he going to be resurrected? Making sajda, prostration to Shaitan. Allahu Akbar. Just an aside thing, what's a good death? Sorry?
Sometimes all.
Think about it. Have you seen many people who've been to the mosque and not got up from the state center? Subhanallah. Heaven guaranteed. Inshallah. Okay? This is the reference of that event in the Quran. Surah Al-Hashr, verse 16 and 17. The minute this man makes sajda, the shaitan says to him, when he says to man, disbelieve in Allah, but when man disbelieves in Allah, shaitan turns around, I am free of you. I fear Allah, the Lord of Alameen, Rabbul Alameen. The shaitan says, you made sajda. I don't care about you. I didn't do all this. You did it yourself. I fear Allah. Even the shaitan, the deceiver, saying, I fear Allah. So the end, the product is that both the shaitan and this man will go into hellfire. If I ask you a question, if shaitan said right from the beginning, make sajda to me, will this man of great piety make sajda, prostrate before shaitan? Would he? Would he? He wouldn't, would he? Because he's a man of great faith. What did shaitan do? Let's take this girl in, but I'll leave it in the other house. Let's bring the food closer to the house. Oh, let's bring the food into the house. Oh, let's talk to this girl because she's lonely. Oh, let's do a bit more. Why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you this?
To show that one thing is too much.
The shaitan has all the time in the world. Relate this story to what is going through your heart now. Parents said, go and salah. Go. It's time for praying. What are you going to say? What's your normal excuse? I was a teenager too, you know. It's okay. It's okay. Got time. Stop later. I can't stop now. 5 more minutes. That's a bit more. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. What's that? Whisper. Okay? Don't go out with this, don't go out alone with this girl. Don't. Just don't, your parent says. It's okay, I know, I'm in control, I'm confident. Don't worry, you know, I have my Islamic faith. I won't do anything to her. You know, we'll just go out, the two of us. I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about the partner that you take out with you. Who am I worried about? The third person. If you are in a room of opposite sex, just you and a girl, or girl and a boy, I'm not worried about the boy and the girl, I'm worried about the third person in the room. A pious man who you would not imagine would have committed a double zina, murder, double murder, and lie. And his final destination is, this is a pious person. What about mere mortals like me, you? Don't get in a situation where, don't procrastinate over good things. And don't accelerate towards bad things. Don't put you in a situation where you know you may not have the control. Think about that. Okay? Relevant, very relevant to what you guys are going through. Yes? Are you with me? So how are we going to curtail this? I don't know, what time is it now? 12 o'clock. Can I spend 15 minutes? Are you guys okay for another 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
So, what we're going to do, how we're going to combat this, how we're going to stop the whispering of shaitan, the influence of shaitan. Where you want to be at the end of the day? Jannah. What do you hold dear?
Time.
What do you want to do with that time? How?
By being with people.
Achieve piety. Part of achieving piety is this. The questions that you ask me is difficulty in performing salah because of the situation, no place to pray. No place to pray. It's difficult to pray because I've got a place to pray. People will look at me. I don't have a clean places to pray. I can't spend time to pray. I can't pray. Remember what I said? Worldly distractions. The most important thing will only become reality to you when you die. Don't let that be you. Because salah is one of the most important ibadah. Is the important ibadah. Guess what? The first thing that's being asked of you is, in the Day of Judgment is? That's the first thing, okay? It is said that if you're going through hisab on your Judgment Day, and you get asked, you're doomed. If you get asked a question on the Day of Judgment, you're doomed. And the first question is, have you kept your salah? There shouldn't be an excuse. It might be difficult. People might stare at you. But you have to keep your 5 daily prayers at the very least. Because that's the very thing that's going to get you to your goal. Yes? People will stare at you if you pray in public places. There was a boy in my last talk, and he said, I had difficulty in praying, but the minute I started praying, I made friends. Because they realised there are actually other Muslims there. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. He made friends because he started to pray. SubhanAllah. Okay? But people have to accept that you have to perform these prayers. Whether it's in a small corner of the library, whether it's actually next to the toilet, but not inside the toilet. Okay? You have to make time for this. You cannot not do this. This is the very thing that's going to get you into the right place. Does that make sense? I'm going to show you this.
كيف حالك مع المسجد؟
Let's get the lights.
ما رأيك أن أعرفك على صديقي في اليمن؟ مراد يمشي للمسجد كل يوم وأحيانا يزحف زحفا في المسجد. يتعب ولكنه لا يفوت تكبيرة الإحرام.
He has cerebral palsy. He was born this way. Okay? He had disability as a consequence of his condition since birth.
هل تظن أن هذا كل ما في الأمر؟ لا. إنه حريص على الصف الأول يأتي مبكرا ويقرأ القرآن ولا يكتفي بهذا بل يضطر بعد صلاة المغرب كل يوم أن يتسلق أدراج المسجد بمشقة لكي يصل إلى الدرجة الثانية.
Is it difficult for him to go and pray? Are you facing the same difficulty as this boy here?
إنه مشارك في حلقة تحفيظ مع أنه مشلول يتكلم بصعوبة ولكنه يضغط على إعاقته.
We're making excuses because we have no place to pray. This boy who's got disability walks miles to get to the mosque. He prays. He attends knowledge classes. He attends Quranic classes. He can't even speak properly. What's our excuse for not praying? If this boy, with great difficulty in his life, makes it a point to go to the mosque. Let me ask you this question. How long does it take to pray one salah? One waqtu? One timetable? How long does it take? How long does it take to pray Fajr?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. How long does it take to pray Zuhr? 5 minutes. Let's just say 5 minutes. So how many minutes are you spending praying a day? Yes, it's 5. 25 minutes. 25 minutes all day, and that's all you're doing? Where is your destination? Where's your goal? Will you pass your exams if you spend 25 minutes a day to get to the biggest test of your life? Guess what? If you live for 80 years, it doesn't mean that you pray 25 minutes for 80 years, because before you reach Baligh, you're not praying. When you sleep, you're not praying. When you're sick, you may not pray. If you lose your mind because you've got dementia in your later years, you may not pray. So actually, 25 minutes is not even a reflection of what we're doing. it's such a small period of your time a day that you're dedicating for the most important thing in your life that you want to go to heaven for. Guess what? The first question is, how are you keeping your salah? Think about it. Think about it. Yes?
على فكرة ترى الشيخ معاذ يسافر إلى الشيخ، يعني يذهب مع وليس الشيخ هو بجانب بيته ولا الشيخ يأتيه، هو يسافر يعني سفرا طويلا حتى
أنني كنت أذهب إلى الشيخ ونصف القرآن الأول كم
This boy's blind.
3 أيام في الأسبوع.
3 أيام فقط. كنت أتحايل عليه، كان أول يوم يومين فقط. تحايلت عليه محايلة شديدة لأذهب إليه 3 أيام، وكان يوقفني على معاني شديدة. يعني كان يمكنه أن يعطيني آية واحدة فقط.
هذه المسافة كلها يعطيك آية واحدة.
والله كان يفعل.
الله أكبر.
في بعض الأيام كنت لا ألعب أبدا.
ولكني سمعت أنك عفريت شوي.
الحمد لله رب العالمين. هو شيء من البصر سبحان الله. الحمد لله وعلى هذه النعمة. أنا في صلاتي لا أدعو أن الله يرجع علي بصري.
لا تريد أن يرجع الله؟
لماذا؟ لعل يكون يخرج من الدنيا فيخفف عني بعض المناعة. وأقف بين يديه خائفا متوجها يسألني ماذا فعلت في القرآن؟ فعسى أن يخفف عنك فالله يدخل من يشاء في رحمته، ولكنه أفعل عليه بالقرآن. وأنا الحمد لله إذا أردت أن أذهب إلى أي مكان أذهب وحدي فقط، وليس معي أحد، لكن أبي يخاف علي.
تذكرت في هذه اللحظات حال كثير من المسلمين المبصرين الذين تكاسلوا عن حفظ القرآن. يا الله، ماذا ستكون حجتهم عند الله؟
الحمد لله على كل حال.
ما شاء الله يا شيخ معاذ، أنا علمت أنك أنت عندك قاعدة ابن القيم.
نعم.
ما هذه القاعدة؟
قال ابن القيم رحمه الله: لا أغلق الله بابا لعبد بحكمة إلا فتح له بابا.
يعني أنت ما تزعل بين أصدقائك أنك أنت فقدت البصر؟
لا كنت هنا.
يعني البعض يشعر بنقص.
في الصغر كنت أغضب، لن أكذب عليه.
نعم.
كنت أغضب أحيانا، لكن الآن الحمد لله لا أغضب. فهذا قضاء الله وقدر.
نعم. النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم يقول: من ابتلاه الله سبحانه وتعالى بحبيبتين فصبر عوضه الله بهما الجنة.
نسأل الله أن نكون من ورثة جنات الفردوس.
اللهم
فرت همومي وانشرح قلب مهموم لما تليتك كل الأحزان فرت يا محكم القرآن يا مسكن ختوم.
Right. Where's our final destination? What have we got that's precious to us now? And how are we going to spend that time? In piety, preparing for that day. Yes? Salah, you must keep. Yes? How many of you spend time on the Quran daily? Daily. Even if it's 2 minutes, 1 minute. Opening your mushaf, opening the Quran, the book. How many of you spend it daily? MashaAllah. Anybody else? This boy cannot see. He spends it on a regular basis. When he can go to learn from his sheikh, he goes 3 times a week. He's blind. Is it going to be easy or difficult to read the Quran? So he's concerned that if he does not know the words of Allah, Allah is going to give him horrible punishment on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. Are we worried? We have the facility and the faculty of intellect. We have our eyes, hearing, speech, ability to move our hands freely. What is our excuse for not learning the Quran? That's going to get where? To Jannah. Reflect on that. Think about that. We've got to spend, if you're spending 25 minutes a day on Salah, is that going to be enough? No. We spend hardly next to nothing on the Quran. Is that going to be enough to where you want to go? No. Salah and knowing the Quran are very closely linked. I only appreciate this in my later years of life. The more of the Quran you know, the easier it is the connection to Allah. A lot of people will pray but have empty prayers. It's just a method. It is just a practice by which you just do them without thought and khushu'. One of the ways to attain the enjoyment of salah and khushu', I'm talking about two things, concentration and enjoyment, is knowing what you're reading. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Okay? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ar-Rahman. Allama al-Quran. Khalaqa al-Insan. Allamahu al-Bayan. These are beautiful words. Allah, you read them in your prayer, you think, SubhanAllah, Allah has given us this book, and not only it sounds beautiful, it has lots of meaning and the answers to your life problems. And when you read facing your Maker with His words, what is that you're doing? What is that you're doing? You're praying and you're reading the Quran in your Salah. What does that say? What is that you're doing? Think about it. One-to-one with? That's what prayers are. It's one-to-one connection. He's talking to you through the words of the Quran, and you're talking back to him. How privileged are we Muslims to be given the Salah and to be given the Quran? He's talking to you, and you are talking back to him. And I didn't appreciate as much as I have now. The more I read, the more I understand what I'm reading. It's easy to shed tears in your prayers. It's easy to cry in your prayers, because you realize how privileged you are to be able to have the health faculties, to be able to pray and to be able to read the words of Allah. So you should strive, the next time Salah arrives, you want to do it quick, you want to get there quickly so that you can pray and take time doing it. Does that make sense? So I've shown you two boys who has difficulty doing these things, but yet they do them with great enthusiasm, intent, and knowing. This boy, the last boy, is completely blind, yes? Where are his eyes and his heart already? Where are they now? Where are they? This is a boy that's mature beyond years. His heart is already in Jannah. All the things he's saying is that his heart is already in Jannah. His vision is already in Jannah. Does that make sense? SubhanAllah. I don't have that maturity at this age, but this boy does. Okay, any questions so far? Are we still okay on time? Am I making sense so far? Can I show you another clip? Party time.
During these years that I thought I was living what I thought was happiness. Partying, doing drugs, drinking, smoking, hanging out with friends, being, having girls and girlfriends and being with women. And this is what I thought was happiness. And I was pursuing these things, but in the midst of these things, I was finding many trials and tribulations. I almost died a couple of times, drinking and driving. One time I crashed into a pole, my friend hit the windshield so hard, when he pulled back, his hairs were stuck in the windshield. SubhanAllah. And as soon as he pulled back and I seen him bleeding and his hair stuck in the windshield, we took another sip of the beer and I tried to drive away before we got stopped by the police. So this is how I was trying to pursue my happiness, but I found that I was only becoming more miserable. Trying to seek happiness within the drugs and within friends and within drinking was only making me more miserable. But after I took the Shahada, unfortunately, I put on my kufi and I still would go out and drink with friends. And I would run into Christians and they would say, you know, Christian youth, like myself at the time, and they would say, you Muslim? I said, yeah. And they would say, why are you drinking? I said, why are you asking me questions? You're worshiping Jesus. I know, you're worshiping Jesus, I'm drinking. Stop questioning, right? So this was my attitude for a long time. And I went on that way maybe for like 3 or 4 months, subhanAllah. Drinking, still smoking, still partying. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided me one night. I was on my porch, sitting with these same friends, and when I was sitting with them, they were smoking weed and drinking. I was sitting there, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm looking out at the stars, and I'm thinking, subhanAllah, if I don't change, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to destroy me. And I began to reflect and contemplate further. And I kept coming to the same conclusion, you need to change. If you don't change, how much longer Allah is going to give you? How many more chances is Allah going to give you? You almost died in a few car accidents. You've been having this problem and that problem. Inshallah ta'ala, how much more time do you have? I told my friends, get up and get out. They said, what? I said, get up, get out. They said, you're high, you're tripping, stop bugging. I said, no, I'm not high. I said, this is the first time in my life that I have clarity of sight. I know what I want, and what you have, I don't want. Get up, get out. It was at that point that I realized, because there were struggles that I faced, right? And finding this happiness and this pursuit of happiness, I was looking for it in the wrong places, drinking, hanging out with the wrong company, which is the case with most people. So I knew that I immediately had to change my friends in order for me to reach the state that I wanted to reach with my Lord. And when I changed my friends, things began to change. Life began to become sweeter. I began to see some of the happiness entering.
What's the message there? What's the message there? Are we partying? Partying tonight? Yes, we are. Yes, we are partying tonight. Where are we partying tonight? Where are we going to party tonight? What's up, bro? Come on. We're going to party in the mosque. Because that's our ticket. That's our ticket to Jannah. It's where the learned people are. What's the basic message of that? Peer pressure. Teenage years, peer pressure. Yes? If your friends are leading you to your deen, are leading to where you want to be in terms of your end goal, change your friends. Because it's not worth it. You have a goal. You have limited time. You have to spend that time achieving your goal. You don't want to be wasting time. If Allah is not giving you time, you can't be doing partying. Guess what? You'll be resurrected in the day of Qiyamah, partying. Is that good or bad? Think of Barsisa. Is it good or bad? Not great. And just what? Pertinent to partying, I want you to watch this. This is a video made.
Here we are at the
by the Americans.
Utah State University Library for some interviewing to ask people if they believe that men and women can be just friends. So let's go inside and see what we can find. Do you believe that men and women can be just friends?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be hard to do.
Yes.
I mean, we're all men, so of course we're going to have those feelings. And we can be content with just friendship, and we can be silent regarding those feelings, but we're going to have them.
Yes.
No.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't believe so. No. I guess what I'm saying is no.
Okay, we'll walk with you. Do you believe men and women can be just friends?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, do you have any guy friends right now who you're just friends with?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All my best friends are guys.
Dave. Trevor. Taylor Mulford. Bobby. Yeah.
How long have you known Trevor?
2 years.
Of those guy friends, do you think any of them secretly like you? And be honest,
Probably, yeah.
do you think that guy is interested in you?
Yes. Okay, maybe you can only be just friends in high school, because most guys won't just be my friend.
Would Dave hook up with you if you gave him the chance?
Well, yeah.
Do you think Trevor liked you?
Yeah. Okay.
Would he hook up with you if you wanted to hook up?
Yeah.
So he likes you.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is men and women can't be friends.
No, we can be friends.
You're just friends, but he likes you.
Yes.
So it's a one-sided friendship.
That was one instance.
If she wanted to hook up, would you hook up?
Oh, totally. Look at her.
Don't be sarcastic. I need the truth.
Seriously, yeah.
All right, there we go. All right, that's perfect. Okay, cut.
Because of physical attraction, it's not possible.
But you said I just...
What did you learn from that?
Men and women are friends.
You said it, not me. What else did you learn from that? Deeper than that. What's the fitrah? What's the nature of men and women? These were non-Muslims, yes? What is the difference between men and women perceiving the relationship of men and women? Men, physical. Yes, can't really be friends. I find her attractive. Woman, I can be friends. I can be friends because they're not built. You have to accept women and men are built differently. Biologically, I'm a doctor. I can tell you for certain, men and women are different. We're not built the same. Can a man have a child? They can, but they can't be pregnant. Can a man breastfeed? Not unless it's given a bottle. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're built differently. Men, very physical. Women, very emotional. And that's not a bad thing. That's fitrah. That's how we're made. Who knows this? Who knows about this? Our Maker. So he sets instructions because the way he built us, he sets instructions because you know our nature, our fitrah. Yes? Are you with me so far? So, it's not just a straightforward men and women can be friends. It's the basic instinct that how we're built biologically, that men find women attractive in the physical sense. Women find men attractive, not so much in the physical sense, but more in the emotional sense. Yes? Can they be friends? There's always going to be a one-sided issue, whether it's from the girl side or whether it's from the male side. Often it's I'm looking at you guys, the male side. What did I say about the concern that I have for a male and a female unrelated to each other being in the same room? What did I say?
The third person.
The third person. It's okay. She doesn't mind me touching you a little bit. It's okay. Doesn't mind me back in the tube. It's okay. Whisperings. Yes? Another question that I often get asked. Okay, I feel that this woman best answer this question. Okay, I'm going to let her answer the question. Should we be wearing hijab? Rephrase that question. Should women be acting?
Now, I had promised the young sisters that I would also go ahead and, because we're talking about how we can make an impact, the women, and one of the ways is that you have to be able to explain Islam in a way that they will understand. Okay? So one of the most important things they're always asking about is the rag on our heads. Why do we wear that thing? Okay? And, you know, I'm amazed. I ask Muslims, why do women cover their hair? And maybe 1 out of 99 gives the right answer. Now, if Muslims don't know why women wear this scarf, how how do we expect non-Muslims to understand? Seriously. The Quran itself says why we cover our hair. What does the Quran say? To identify ourselves as being Muslim. That's number one, that we would be recognized. We put this on. This is an act of truthfulness, all right? So that everybody will know that we are Muslim women. We want everyone to know that we are Muslim women. We are proud of being Muslim women. But then this says a lot too. See, what this tells everyone who sees me is what stands before you is a woman of enormous strength, enormous courage and integrity. This woman will not lie, she will not cheat, she will not deceive. She will be the best employer, the best employee, the best friend, the best advisor, the best counselor. That's a Muslim woman. You can trust her. And it's a warning. Oh yeah. It looks up here and it tells to everybody what stands before you is a woman who knows her worth. She knows her value. She is not a toy, so don't even try to play with her. This is a woman you take serious. See, my hijab lets people know straight up front that I want to be set apart from everyone else. I want you to know who I am. And this is what you have a right to expect from me, and this is what I will accept from you. Therefore, when you come near me, leave your profanity somewhere else. I will not hear it. When you come to me, don't tell me stories about someone else. I do not eat the flesh of my brother. This identifies me as being a Muslim woman. Now the ayah goes further, and it says that you would not be molested. And some people have taken the word molested and turned it into rape. It has nothing to do with rape. Actually, rape has nothing to do with sexual attraction. Rape is an act of violence and hate and domination. Old women, ancient old women, even older than me, get raped. Okay? No matter what you wear, it doesn't matter because it has nothing to do with sex. They're not turned on, they're filled with hate. That's where rape comes from. It has nothing to do with sex. When it speaks of the protection comes from your attitude. Okay? Because I know what Allah has said about me. That I'm going to have what I call the Islamic attitude. I'm not a toy. I'm truth. I'm honesty. You can trust me. Okay? I take my attitude and I let you know. You don't go past this point with me. I don't accept that. That's my attitude. And that attitude makes everyone notice. So when I walk up to a shopping center, okay, everyone rushes to open the door for me. I expect it. So they do it. If I get on a bus, they'll get up and give me their seat. I expect it. So they do it. I'll walk into a room where they're telling a dirty story and they stop because they know I won't tolerate it. So I have the Islamic attitude that lets people know what to expect from me. And at the same time, anyone who has trouble knows that they can come to me and talk to me about their problems and that their problem will be safe, it'll be secure, and the guidance they get will be the best of guidance. Therefore, I do counseling not only of Muslims, but of non-Muslims.
I think that's a very powerful message, don't you? I often get asked this question, and quite often from a male perspective, trying to explain something that you yourself don't experience. I thought these were the perfect answers. Yes? This is your identity. Where do you want to be in? What's the most important currency that you have now?
Time.
How are you going to spend that time? Okay? I'm going to start skipping because I see parents out there looking at me. What are you doing? Right.
Some of them are going to Yasmin Mogahed talk, that's why they're eager to.
Right. 2 more slides and I promise I'll stop. 2 more slides, okay? Quick succession. I'm not doing the talking. I hope you gain some valuable message from this, okay?
I want to say something, wallahi, to every brother and to every sister, Muslim and non-Muslim also. The thing is, my brothers and sisters, I want you to live your life. Stop living other people's lives. This is a really big problem that we have. Many of us, we put ourselves in a position of stress and sadness because we're trying to live a life that is not ours. We're trying to live other people's lives. We spend so much time looking over the fence to see what is happening on the other side, and you're not appreciating what you have, nor are you dealing with what you have. Like, I'll give you an example. Personally, and I'm not here to hate. Wallahi, I'm just, like this Facebook concept, right? I'm not on Facebook. I'm not here to say it's halal or it's haram. Wallahi, I'm not. But the concept amazes me, man. And our lives have become so attached to it that it brings unnecessary stress and unnecessary sadness. Why? Because you're so caught up with how other people are living their lives that the only thing you can see in your life is what's missing. And you stop seeing what you have. And really, I find it interesting, and again, forgive me, now these are just my personal, have we become so shallow that I need to let the world know where I am, what I'm eating, where I'm going, and who I'm with? And have you become so shallow that you need to follow people now? I don't understand, like, people take selfies. Just had lunch. Are you that bored? Just had lunch. It was the best. Wallahi, look, it's funny, but wallahi, you don't understand the effects it has on individuals, even marriages. So, people who take selfies and then put it up on the internet, I find it amazing. If you're so sincere, why don't you take a photo as soon as you wake up in the morning? When you've still got those things in your eyes. No, the picture is selected. And I always take a photo when I'm on a holiday or I'm having something, right? And I go to extreme efforts to show the world that I'm living the life. But in truth, you're not living the life. You're a human being like everyone else. And what tends to happen is, and really, wallahi, I say to people, even if you are happy, don't show it to the world. Because people will start to hate on you, they will start wishing to have what you have, and they will start wishing that Allah takes what you have and gives it to them. And this happens with marriages. Lots of marriages. Why? Because we're trying to live a life that's not ours. I mean, really, if Allah gives me $500 a week, then live the life of someone that has $500 a week. No, I want to live like the one that's making $3,000 a week. But my brother and sister, Allah didn't give you that. Allah says, I'm not going to question you on things I haven't given you. Why do you make things difficult on yourself? Brothers who drive around all day, working all day, looking at every woman that comes his way, admiring and lusting, and Allahu Akbar, and comes home and he says to me, man, I'm sick of my wife. Yeah, of course you're sick of your wife. Had you spent 10% of the time you spent looking at other people's women, had you just spent that time looking at what Allah gave you, maybe you would appreciate her as well. But you don't. You're looking at the things that don't belong to you. You look at things that are not yours. You're trying to live the life that is not yours. Wallahi, just live your life.
Another very powerful message. I don't think I need to summarize that. Does that make sense? Yeah? For the sake of time, I'm just going to speed up. This is just my last slide, I promise you. Okay? Do reflect on this slide. Because, wallahi, we're in trouble. Our ummah is in trouble. Okay? We need people like yourself to get us out of this mess. Okay? Please reflect on this.
More than 1.something billion Muslims in the world. And look at our state. Look at our state. What Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells detrimental hadith wallah. He said, لا خير فيكم إذا فسد أهل الشام. There is no good in you, O Muslims, when the day comes that the people of Sham are corrupt. Their state is corrupt, they're neglected. Their state is destruction. There is no good in you. As though saying, Sham is the heart of you. And if its people are not looked after anymore, what is wrong with the ummah of the Muslims of the world? Something is terribly, terribly wrong. We can blame the leaders. And Rasul ﷺ did say that there will come a time when you will have leaders who are unjust and they will lead you in tyranny. And he also said, when the time comes, when the amana, the trust is given to the person who cannot hold it, and the person who is a liar is believed, and the person who is trustworthy is said to be a liar. Yes, it's going to come. But what about you and me, who are not leaders? We have a responsibility first for yourself. Are you fulfilling that responsibility by being a person obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? A person fulfilling your deen in the proper manner? He said, when there will be more evil people than the good ones, to the point when, listen to this, when the believers will hide themselves. يستخفي منهم المؤمن كما يستخفي المنافق فينا اليوم. The believers will hide themselves, too ashamed or too embarrassed or too scared to show themselves that they are believers, just like the way hypocrites today hide themselves. Hypocrites. In Medina there were 17 hypocrites who used to look like Muslims on the outside, but they were actually spies, there to plan and plot for the destruction of the Muslims. So they used to act like Muslims, but they were actually disbelievers on the inside. There were 17 of them. No one knew about them except the Rasul ﷺ and Hudayf ibn al-Yaman. Even Umar asked, who are they? And he wouldn't tell him. And he said, it will come a time where the believers will hide themselves because of the amount of any corruption that's out there. Wallahi, as a teacher, I see this among the students all the time, among the youth. You find them, mashallah, they come from home, beautiful, modesty, character, and then they meet these other people and they get overwhelmed by the bullying, mental bullying. And so they become corrupt themselves, the shame goes away from them as if they weren't Muslims at all. At home, they're one thing. In the masjid, Allahu Akbar. But at school, with their friends, when they're out, totally different people, totally different. See, sisters, depends on who they're sitting with. Subhanallah, suddenly their language changes. From subhanallah to talking about other people, to cursing other people. What is this? For Rasul ﷺ said, the believers begin to feel shy to show that they're believers. They're too afraid, they don't want to get up and feel proud of it.
Right, okay. Could you relate to that last slide, guys? Lots of very important messages. Last few slides, I think lots of very important message to get across. I'm sorry, I haven't got time. I hope that these slides has made the point. Let me ask you this. Is there destruction in Sham? What is meant by Sham? Does anybody know? Sham is the land where Syria is at the moment, where Iraq is at the moment. Is Sham in trouble? Is the people of Sham in trouble? Is there destruction in Sham? You worried? I am. Because our brothers and sisters in Sham are going through hell on earth. Yes, we do what we can to try and help them. We should strive to do more to help them. But what did Rasulullah ﷺ say? What do you say in this? What do you say?
There will be a time when disbelievers hide their identity.
So we're coming toward the end of time. I'm not talking about our own personal time, but we're coming towards when that whistle is going to be blown, where everything's going to be destroyed. We're heading very closely to Yawm al-Qiyamah. These are soft signs, these are minor signs that are already appearing before your eyes. Do we see any leaders that are not fit to be leaders? Can you name anybody? These are time of fasad, these are time of fitna. So how are we going to prepare ourselves for this? I'll come back to the same question. 3 main questions. Where do you want to be? What do we have precious at the moment? How are we going to spend that time? Preparing for death by doing all the pious deeds. Those pious deeds are?
Read Quran, practice it.
Practice it. Whether it's the salah, whether being close to the Quran, charity, or high regard for others, behaving like a Muslim, etc., etc. Any questions thus far? Does that address some of the issues that you guys might be going through at the moment? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Is that useful? Do you know this already? A bit. Was it helpful? Do you want to know more about your religion? Yeah? Okay. Right. I'm going to finish there unless you have any burning questions, whether in groups or personally. I'm happy to take questions for the next 10 minutes. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you for being such an attentive crowd.